Hi guys, Peter Finch here and welcome down to the Quest Golf Academy and my end of season what's in the bag. Now there have been quite a few changes which have gone on within my bag within the last few weeks, quite literally, and throughout the course of this season. And guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button as well, hit that little bell icon so you get notified of all my videos which I release, which is pretty much every day. And this is the most recent. So where to begin? Well, let's start with some new / old clubs. So a few weeks ago, I got my club stolen out of the boot of my car. They left a few items, but they also took quite a few away. So they took my Mizuno driver, they took my 3-wood, and they took my wedges. Now I was using the SM7 wedges, and very kindly, Titleist actually sent me some more. And I've been gaming this type of wedge since the start of the year. So the SM7s, I have found that these wedges have been just really, really good, especially on the longer shot. So the milled grind wedges I was using prior to these, they were really good as well. They felt very, very soft. But on some of the fuller shots, maybe they did lose a touch of distance. Now the Titleist SM7s, they are designed so they don't lose any distance, so there's not much rolling up the club face. And I have to say, I've been pretty impressed by using them this year. They feel a little bit heavier and maybe harder than the mill grind wedges, and harder and heavier than some of the other wedges out there on the market. But for an all-around club, they are very good. So I have pulled up a 101-yard par 3 on the sim. I'm going to go in there with my 46-degree first. So with my 46-degree wedge, this is just a little fade just into that pin, about half a swing. And that's moving back very nicely. Well, thank you very much. I'll see you later. So that's the 46-degree Hurricane. So next up I have my 50-degree hands-off wedge, and this is my basically 3/4 swing with this club. This is the one I'd feel very comfortable with over this distance. We're doing well to get closer than that, though. Struck that very, very well. I'll sit and spin. All right. Well, they're two very good shots to begin with. Next up, we got the 54-degree Tornado wedge. And this one, I'm going to have to hit almost a bit of a full shot to get it that type of distance. Not bad, actually. Again, look at that. Felt like I was just good with my wedges out on the actual course. I think if I could cart this quad around with me and just have a screen, I'd be a good player. Last up is my Typhoon, my 60-degree wedge. Now this used to be my Typhon after a original typo with the wedge that I got sent through. A happy accident, as that is an ancient beast in Greek mythology. However, now I have the proper Typhoon. Now to get this back to 100 yards, I'm gonna have to hit like a hard raking draw, hopefully miss the tree, which is on the right-hand side of the simulator. So body aiming at the camera, please don't flinch. Club face nice and shut down. And let's hit that raking draw. Mr. Tree, oh, it's Mr. Tree. Has it come round enough? Has it got to go? Oh, spin left. Spin left. Now, next up, we have my irons. Now, I've been using the Cobra Forge 1 length for, well, over a season now. And to be honest, I have never fallen in love with them. However, I was pretty keen to experiment fully and actually understand the concept behind them. Now, the pros to using these irons, and I would recommend that everyone give them a go at least once because they are an interesting concept. Basically, you position the ball the same every time, you try and put the same swing on them every time, and the loft would make the difference, as well as the density within the club head. So the club head in the 1 length forge, they are lighter within the, I almost said longer irons, the lower lofted irons, and they are a little bit heavier in the higher lofted irons, and that's to try and control the flight. However, as the first iteration of this model, I still have found that difficulty to actually control that ball flight. So I find that the higher lofted irons go mega high and the lower lofted irons still go quite low. However, in recent weeks, my FSX skills challenge have been pretty good, and that is because I found a way to control these irons that little bit better. But also, over the course of the year, I have become more comfortable with them. A lot of questions asked of whether if I switch back to a progressive set of irons, progressive length, would I struggle? I don't think so. These are all set to the length of a 7 iron, and I pulled up here 166 yards to have a go with. So 166 yards with a 7-iron with these range balls. So this should just be a nice full swing. Struck it well. Turning over just a touch. Yeah, just left of the pin. That's a solid shot, but I can get better than that. So I've switched it up to a 6-iron. I'm going to put pretty much the same swing on it in the same ball position, but I'm just going to try and hit a little bit of a fade, just to try and take that touch of distance off there. So very similar in the way that I'm setting up. And I've just tried to take a little bit off that. I've actually hit that bullet straight. That's going to be pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. So now on to, I would say, probably my favorite club this year. So this is the UDI, the 2-iron from TaylorMade, the P790 version. And I have to say, this has been an absolute beast. I am still not 100% off the fairway because it's a little bit uncontrollable at times, but off the tee as a driving iron, this is just an absolute animal. Certainly for a large part of the summer on the hard baked courses that we've had over in the UK, especially the links courses, this is what I've been using. I'm not really needing my driver. Certainly open qualifying, I used my driver once. The rest of the time was pretty much with this bad boy, a couple of 3-woods as well. But what I've done here is I've got some proper practice balls out. And I'm just going to show you the distance that you can actually achieve with this on a decent strike. So this is going to be a normal swing. I'm not going to try and absolutely rip the backside off this one. It's at 17 degrees. I've got a hazardous shaft in there as well at 80 grams. Let me just show you this. Now that's a slight pull. So what I mean, so that's pitched at 240 and it's ran out to 256. It's just an absolute monster. And let me just try and hit one a little bit straighter so it's not a pull. But I don't think I'll see much of a drop off in distance, to be honest with you. I mean, seriously, look at that. Look at it go. Pretty much pitched at exactly the same point, ran out to 255. It is an absolute monster, this club, it really is. So if you are in the market for a driving iron, highly recommend that one. Now, on to my surprise club, basically. I wasn't expecting to get this. So when my clubs got taken, my 3-wood went missing, my Ping G, which I really did like the stretch model. But Titleist basically sent me through this TS3. This is one I've not tested. I've hit one shot with this, literally. This is going to be my second shot, and we'll have to see how we go. I'm going to go off the deck, and we'll see what actually happens here. But I do love the look of Titleist metalwoods. When they're set behind the ball, they sit for me just slightly open. I like the way that the toe kind of just moves out and away. Stops me the feeling that it's going to go left, which is an issue that I do feel sometimes. So a 65-gram tensile blue shaft, which is the same as my driver, just 10 grams heavier, and it's set to 15 degrees. Slightly on the toey side. Sprung off that face pretty well though. All right. All right. Let's just have one more. Just try and contact that center of the face a little bit more. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, 280. That flew off the face. It really did. I'm going to be at my driver next. I hope I hit it past that. So yeah, interesting. Very cool head cover, I have to say. I'm liking that. So on to the big stick. And well, first I have to take off Lawrence Foxy McFoxface. This was sent in by, oh, hello. So Lawrence, one of my subscribers, actually sent this in homage to when I got my head cover stolen by a fox playing night golf with Rick over in Turkey. And this is the beast. So tensile blue, 55-gram shaft. This is set to 8.5 degrees. Guys, if you ever get a driver which is set to 85 degrees, you should probably take it back. In practice, this has been going very well. And on the course, when I took it out, it's been going very, very well. The difference between this driver and the Mizuno that I had, I love that Mizuno driver, the ST. I really, really liked it, but it didn't go very far. But again, during the summer, I didn't need it to carry very far because it was just running out forever. It came out with super, super low spin. This spins a touch more, but it launches much, much higher, and it is definitely, definitely bigger on the distance. So that's it's a push. So that's up and from the inside. Strike wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great, but look at that. So that's not a great strike. It's carried over 300. Backspin at 2000. I mean, it's different than what we've been seeing from Titleist drivers recently. It's fast off the face, and certainly one of the criticisms with Titleist driver over the last few years is they haven't been, frankly, and this is hoping to bridge that gap, and I'm quite happy about it because certainly when I was growing up, Titleist clubs, that's what the better players use, that's what you aspired to have, and certainly in the driver category, that's gone away, like in recent years, there's no doubt about that, but maybe this is the way for them to get back into it, and I have to say they've made a very good club. So same thing, let me just try and get this a little bit more online. Now this will be a good test because this was slightly bottomy. Drawing away, oh man, crazy. And then that brings me onto my putter. Other things to say, gloves I've been using all year have been FootJoy, kind of mostly the Cyflex that I've been using. My bag is my wonderful Ping bag, which I was really happy wasn't stolen because that's kind of a one-of-a-kind limited edition that was given out at the British Masters at Close House. So really happy that didn't go wandering about. Golf balls I've been using either the AVX Titleist to keep the spin down, or I've been switching up to the TP5 because it launches a little bit higher for me. And it depends on the type of course. As far as the performance between those two balls, there's not really much in it. And I have to say that the best balls on the market at the moment, there isn't much in between them all. I mean, they're all a really good product as far as ones I've tested. I've not tested them all, obviously, so there might be something out there which I've not yet found. Putter-wise, Bettinardi. The putter situation in my bag this year has been interesting. Shall we say that they have gone in and out of my bag with reckless abandon, and as I tried to search for the right one for me, but I have to say this one has been performing really well. Obviously it's nothing to do with the putter, it's to do with me, but the combination of this club head, which is the BB39, this heavy P2 grip as well, which I put on at Tulfaris, these things in combination, as well as other stuff that I've been doing within my stroke, I felt the performance on the greens has been picking up of late. This club face isn't the normal Bettinardi honeycomb design, so this is a milled face. Bettinardi putter is very, very underrated, but everyone who tends to use one agrees that they're a really good club. And I agree with them. This is a really good club. Right guys, there we go. That's my end of season what's in the bag. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the clubs that I have in my bag over the next few months. Potentially, I could be changing quite a lot moving into next year. There's a couple of different avenues which I'm exploring, which I'm pretty excited about, and some stuff which I've never done before. So you'll have to stay tuned for those. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. Follow me on my other social media platforms, which is all linked in the description below. If you do want to see my Titleist fitting, what I'll do is I will link it in the video now, so you can go and check that out. It's very interesting to see what that fitting actually entailed, and certainly the selections of shafts that I went through. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.